MD, how much do you budget a meeting?
170 million already spent. How much of it has been spent on the actual purpose of the fund, which is the facilitation of trade, among countries in West Africa?
So out of 500 million, you have spent 170 on meetings.
But yes, all the 170.
But there has not been any incidences.
The seed money that you use to generate that money must be accounted for, regardless of how it is. I'm worried about the concern about all these trainings and tours you've been doing. I will give you, for example, there is 7 million training in Ghana 2026. There is also another sponsorship for SSATP conference, which is about 10 million within the same space of months. There is another traveling of bilateral meetings with Niger Joint Commission, 9 million again. And then there is another one of operation and policy team study tour for Ghana, which is another 13 million.
When there is this speculation that there might be an issue in between the point of delivery of when you are leaving from here to there, so all of a sudden you are holding a meeting between here and here to find out if something will happen.
It's not all of a sudden, sir. You see, there are times that the ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, they are also contributors to that fund. And they schedule the meetings that should be held. We here will not know unless we're invited to come over. And as it is, we have to put in place our customs. If I may tell you something, we have to put in place systems to fast-track interstate road transit. Nigeria is bordering the Atlantic Ocean. There are landlocked countries in West Africa around us, Niger, Chad, and the rest of them. So the goods, when they come, we have to monitor how they leave our port and transit Nigeria into those countries. And the more effective we do that, the more patronage to our port.
MD, how much do you budget a meeting?
Honorable, the bank is just the approval of the minister before any money is withdrawn. And it is because we do not want to touch the seed fund itself. That is, in this case, the 500 million naira. That is why we put the money as managers.
So out of 500 million, you have spent 170 on meetings.
But yes, all the 170.
But there has not been any incidences.
No, excuse me, sir. All the money that we have spent is from other incomes that have been generated by us as managers of the money. The seed fund itself, the 500 million, is still intact.
Untouched?
Untouched.
Okay.
But 70 million already spent. How much of it has been spent on the actual purpose of the fund, which is the facilitation of trade, among countries in West Africa?
Okay, so as it stands right now, there have not been agreed between the individual countries that are involved in ECOWAS.
So the actual implementation of this protocol has not started.
It has not started.
Distinguished Chairman, sir.
So it is sometimes, even the expense is not for the ministry. Sometimes it is to finance the meetings of customs that will have to meet.
All right.
Yes,
okay, we'll come back to that. You want to say something?
Yes, sir. We are in the process. The Honourable Minister has just approved that we'll commence the process of training, both for the customs and our trade officials, on how to set up an effective and efficient ISRT scheme in Nigeria.
Don't worry, we'll come to that. Just a moment, Honorable Daniel Asama. We'll come to that because, like you are saying, these are like
Some of those money, you've reinvested some of those money and got proceeds that you were able to use the proceeds for some of these expenses. But the Public Account Committee, regardless of how it comes, it's the name, public accounts. So it's still public money. The seed money that you use to generate that money must be accounted for, regardless of how it is. Having agreed with that, I'm worried about the concern about all these trainings and tours you've been doing. I will give you, for example, there is 7 million training in Ghana 2026. There is also another sponsorship for SSATP conference, which is about 10 million within the same space of months. There is another traveling of bilateral meetings with Niger Joint Commission, 9 million again. And then there is another one of operation and policy team study tour for Ghana, which is another 13 million. Now, the spacing of which these trainings are done, from what I see here, is within the space of, this one is within 2019 and 2021. So, what trainings are these? Why do you have to do these trainings? One. Two, do we have the evidence of the expenditure in these regards? How do you raise this? How do you raise the vouchers? How do you do the expenditures? How do you expend money with NEXIM? And I've not seen any here. I don't know if you have of those things. And then to round it up, in all that you do, I have seen, I do not know whether you have other documents that you have submitted beyond what I've seen. I do not see evidence of the expenses. None one. I've not seen approvals, I've not seen evidence. I've only seen documents written in figures that this money is spent for this and that. We are here to see documents that support these expenses in details.
Honorable,
I actually think that question is for the Ministry of Transport.
Yes, that precisely, but from the side of the bank, every utilization of the fund, we have full documentation, including approvals.
So that's for you. I want to hear from the transport.
Thank you very much, sir. Initiated something that will kickstart the real commencement of ISRT scheme in Nigeria, because it has long commenced in Ghana. It's ongoing there, and that is why there was that study tour to Ghana. And conclusively, the chairman, Senate Committee on Land Transport, they're just waiting for his directive now to move. The Honorable Minister has already approved. They're waiting for his directive to move. And Chairman House Committee on Land Transport to move to Kenya and conclude the final part and come and hold a workshop to kickstart the ISRT scheme in Nigeria. So, you see, just like we stated earlier, it's not about we in the Ministry of Transportation deciding we are doing this. Some of those meetings are decided.
Excuse me. I'm not arguing with your protocols and the laid down proceedings of how you function. I'm asking of evidence and documentations of these monies you have expended. I'm not interfering with how you operate.
Fine, sir.
I may not have the detailed understanding of how you operate, but I will know if you spend money and you said, I spend this money on this and this is the evidence of the money I spent. That's what we want.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll go into record, just like I told you, it's operating before I came on board. So I'll go into record and get them out and resubmit to this August assembly. Thank you, sir.
See, it is just giving us a list of programs and activities for which you have expended the sum of 170 million. Actually, what you even have there is 121 million. But I think it's because this record stopped at 2024. That may explain why there is that gap. But just giving us an itemization does not cure the mischief which the Auditor General wants us to cure. The Auditor General wants to be sure that these monies are actually being expended in an accountable manner and in a manner that fulfills the purpose for which they are meant.
Thank you, sir.
This does not explain it. What my colleague is asking you is the only thing that you can provide that will justify each and every one of the items you have here, on the expenditure pattern. You have a communication strategy retreat, which costs about 4.8 million naira. You have quite a number of things here that ordinarily will raise some concerns. We are not imputing any wrong motive to you yet. We are just saying they raise red flags, which the Auditor General has observed. So you will need to provide us with these records of all the expenditure, so that we can scrutinize them and be sure that they actually fall within the line of our accountability framework. Yes, certainly the procurement processes, the approvals, the vouchers, and the other records of expenditure of the sum. So how long do you think this will take you to provide?
To get the best rate that we can get for the for the fund. The rates at which the monies were placed can be provided for the committee to also see.
You don't have the exact numbers now, 13.5%, 12%, what rate has it fluctuated over the years?
Market rates have moved anything between single digits, around 9%, to up to 20% in the last 10 years that we're speaking about. So I came into NEXIM around 2017. But from then, I can tell you, I can guarantee you, Chairman, that we try to get the best rate that we can get for the fund. It's a special fund. It's called ISRT fund that we keep separate from other funds that NEXIM have. And we can provide all the
yes,
rates.
we need to know the rates, again, just to be sure that they are also very competitive rates. I want to assume that you do not need the express approval of the ministry to fill
tax for payment to NITT and the explanation.
We will come to that. We want to first address these 3 and 4. We didn't resolve them that day.
Yes, it's part of the story, I think. You know the training, it's the training that conducted by NITT.
Can you scroll up, please? Who is there? Let's scroll up. Let's see. No, that is another one. You have so many. You have so many issues here. How many issues in all? How many?
5.
5.
Yes.
That one is another issue. The payment of unretired advances. That's the one you are talking about. I don't know whether you can. Auditor, please explain what we are talking about to him.
Thank you on this document that you failed to submit to the Auditor General.
Okay.
Now the recommendation now said you should forward it to PAC. So you will not be referring to Auditor General again. It's supposed to be the PAC. So if you have not yet forwarded to PAC Secretariat, it means that.
Which document in particular?
What are the documents?
Okay, for issue number 3. For issue number 3, that is payment for training program without relevant supporting document.
Accountant General, did you send your request to them?
So, Honorable, that was or you want us to just rule on them? We can do that. We can just rule on them now and move on, because we also don't have too much time to stay on an issue for too long. And the ruling will be that you do not have those documents indeed, and then we'll take the recommendations of the Auditor General, which is for you to refund the money in your personal capacity to the federal government.
Distinguished Chairman, sir, I thank you for your understanding. In the first, all humility, I requested what are those documents, because 1, I was not in office when those things happened, and 2, I did not come at the last sitting to know what documents they submitted to them. That is why I now ask for purpose of clarity that, yes sir. Thank you, sir. So,
don't use that word. Don't say you are not here.
I'm sorry, sir. I withdraw that.
You have letters for this meeting, hadn't you?
I withdraw that. Thank you very much, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Use that word.
And I want to thank you for magnanimously allowing us 2 weeks to submit some documents on the previous discussions. Thank you, sir. No.
He has not requested anything for this.
Chairman, we need to have.
He has not requested anything.
We have to wrap up this matter. They are not ready. We wrap up.
The ministry failed to attach relevant supporting documents such as letters of invitation, reports, that is after the training, after the program. You're supposed to write a report detailing all the attendance and everything there. Evidence of attendance, copies of certificate issues, pictures. Those are the things you attach in the report when you are returned from any training. Then the other one of payment for overseas travel, the documents are equally stated there. That is Ministry for Conference and other official program in Kenya, South Africa, Morocco, Greece. These are all the documents. Any training, any program you embark on, and you have paid, that is monetary. There is monetary implication. The officers supposed to, when on their return, write a comprehensive report attaching evidence of attending. That is either registration and other supporting documents like the materials being used there. So that the purpose of attaching all those things is to transfer knowledge to those that don't have the ability to attend. You can organize an in-house training to impart knowledge. So the documents are there on the...
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir.
When we take a matter once, twice, thrice, we just want to rule and move on. We have volumes of report to deal with. If we stay on one ministry for 3-4 months, when do we submit our own report to the House?
Thank you very much, sir. And all members of this, I say in 2 weeks from now, we'll submit everything.
All right, and please, so that we don't do back and forth. If you go to issue number 5, issue number 5 is the one that has to do with some payments and give again. We'll give you. You have it now. Eh? It's attached. It's attached to your letter of invitation. So that we don't keep doing back and forth. Okay, so let's quickly take, and so honorable colleagues, are we granting the 2 weeks as previously granted also for the submission of this document? All right, granted. The one that has to do with NIT, sir. I wish you can award cost. Honorable colleagues, please, let's be a little patient with them. They are also working in a slightly difficult environment. When people retire, they transfer people and what have you. And we still have not formulated the process of digitizing our system. So they have to be looking for files, looking for... I'm not excusing, I'm just saying. Thank you, sir. So NITT, there was a payment for training. And that payment ought to come with deduction of withholding tax, I think, which wasn't done. So can you please address that?
Thank you.
Meanwhile, you are the boss.
Yeah, we got a letter inviting us for this to this special committee on the payment made to us by the ministry. And Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology is a training institute. And as a training institute, we train most of the staff in the Ministry of Transportation, Nigerian Port Authority, NIMASA, Nigerian Sports Councils, and because those are our clients mostly. So when we get payment from them, our training department visits their training department in order to get a list of staff to be trained and at what cost. So based on that amount, they come and we raise RRR, we generate RRR for the payment to be made. So as at that point, the only thing we see is the net amount or the amount that has been agreed to pay to us. So the issue of VAT or withholding being deducted by the agency paying to us, we don't know about that. And when we received this letter, we looked into our record and we saw that what we received was just the net of the payment that was made to us based on what our director of training agreed with the ministry.
In other words, you are the contractor. And so the obligation of deducting and remitting is not that of the contractor, but that of the person, the agency.
Exactly, sir.
Okay, how much was the total sum involved?
11 million.
Total sum?
7 million. 7 million. You know that 11 includes DJ and other, but the cost is 7 million.
No, I know. Let him answer because they're the one that received the money. How much did they receive?
Yeah, because I asked because I was just coming, I just got...
You asked your boss, sir?
Yes, sir.
You said you are the boss, sir?
I'm the boss, sir.
You said you asked your boss, sir?
No, I just got information to come for this meeting. So I asked my staff to get the information and send to me, which I think somebody is coming with it from Zaria. So they've checked the record, and the amount they say they got in their account is different from what we have here. So we need to get the information and submit what we receive from the ministry.
What's the amount they Sorry.
11 million 200.
Sorry, sir. Can I do a little clarification on that?
To you for this program. That's your own responsibility. How much came into your account? And then I'm sure that there will be a correspondence between the ministry and your own organization stating the amount that they are awarding the training for. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true, sir.
So the amount that was in your letter and the amount that was paid will help us to be able to resolve the differences.
I want to ask for permission to be by next week. In 2 or 2 weeks.
No, you said somebody informed you.
Yeah, they are coming with the doc. No, they are coming with.
You said somebody informed you of a figure. Tell us the figure.
The figure they said they were able to trace to the as at that time, because I actually called to find out what date was this amount paid.
What's the figure?
11,200,000 and something.
Was that was the amount on the letter or the amount paid to you?
The amount that we saw as what we received in our account.
What about on the letter that was given to you when they were engaging you for the training? How much was indicated?
That I have to go and find out when I go back to Zaria, sir.
Honorable colleague, how do we move on this, please? These 2 weeks, we should just take you together. Maybe we'll reschedule for a little within 2 weeks so that we can take it together again.
Yeah. Somebody is coming with information, they have related it to him. I mean, for how long are we going to continue to deal with this? So, somebody in a position where he gets information, he knows how much was credited to him, he's the bosser. And he doesn't know now, he has to get somebody else from Zaria to get us the information. This is just a deliberate act. And, Chairman, even the information that we submit has to be scrutinized.
All right, Honorable colleague, let's give them benefit of July for a return date. Wednesday, 2nd of July. Overseeing Director, yes, you note that, please. NITT, tell your CEO that he has to be physically present. NEXIM, do you still have any gap that? Oh yes, you also have some document to provide.
Yeah, the rates that ISRP.
So we'll do same thing. 2nd of July.
I thought I can send it to the committee.
You said what?
I thought I can send it to the committee.
Yes, you will send it to the committee, but you will need to come and adopt it, and
okay.
And if questions arise out of it, then people can ask those questions.
Okay, sir.